On the borrow screen at the bottom right, you'll notice that there's the opportunity for you to expand into a more advanced repay scenario conversation. Think of all of this here as a tool that you can use to go through and look at different payments, different time frames, etc. But if I click the Show Advanced Repay Scenarios, what's going to happen is a new window will be opened, and we have a new tab here called the Repay tab. What the Repay tab essentially is going to do is it's going to allow you to take anything that you were working on the borrow screen and go through and modify that in a graphical format from a graphical look and feel. I recommend if you're on this tab, you click the Use Same as Borrow tab. What that does is that syncs up all of the data that you have on the Borrow tab here that you might have been working with. So if you were working in a scenario where you had a 15-year time frame and you set up some default scenarios, but you want to be able to go into something more detailed or model something more aggressive or more moderate, or you want to use a different time frame, then simply click the Use Same as Borrow tab. Now you're synced up with what you were showing on the prior tab, and then go ahead and slide it out to a longer time period so you can start to see how the graphs and charts work. The first question is your time period that you want to model, and again, this is completely separate from the bar screen, so none of the numbers are being changed here. Anything you do on the bar screen is separate from the repay. This gives you a way to model additional things. Maybe you show minimum payments on the bar screen, and on the repay you want to show some extra payments. You could show a 0% appreciation rate on the bar screen, and over here say that you want to show a 2% appreciation rate, and everything's going to be recalculated. Maybe you want to show a 0% savings rate on the bar screen, but over here you're showing some different alternatives. You want to show a 5% growth or savings rate. You can do everything again as a pre-tax or after-tax basis, and then you can pick your payment type. You can do a normal payment, that would be just the minimum required payment. You can do a snowball where the lowest balance is going to always be paid off first, so that means any debt or debt repayment, that low balance is going to get paid off, then the next lowest balance. The highest interest means the highest interest rate is going to get paid off first, then the next highest interest rate, then the next highest interest rate will be paid off. Asset snowball is a strategy where if the client has extra cash as they pay off the debt, any cash or savings from that debt automatically then gets put into a side fund or an investment account or savings account, checking account, whatever. So think about it. Maybe they have 3 or 4 debts. They pay off a credit card. They're paying $100 a month on it. Once they pay off that credit card at $100 a month, that $100 automatically starts going into their checking or savings account and growing. So it's different from a debt snowball where each time you pay a debt off, you take that money and apply it towards the next debt. In an asset snowball, each time you pay off a debt, that extra cash flow goes towards your savings. And a biweekly means that instead of paying monthly, you're going to pay on a biweekly basis. So if I click any one of these, it's going to go through and adjust to that particular strategy and calculate the financial impact of that strategy over time. If in doubt, you can start with just a normal payment. That means you're making normal payments. You can see how you can expand here payment detail, or you can expand equity detail. Just like with the borrow page, anything you expand here will be shown on the screen. It'll also be shown on the reports. So what's this for? What's this designed to be able to do? There are many different things I can do with it, but what I want to do is I've got the current payment plan up here. I can actually compare anything. So I could come to this page and compare the 30-year fixed option to the 7-year ARM option. That now allows me to compare 2 different scenarios side by side to see what would the financial impact look like if I really was looking at a 30-year time frame. So I can see the 7-year ARM has some savings, and this is what my curve is going to look like here. Here's what my 30-year payoff is going to look like. So the 30-year is going to pay off faster because I don't have the interest rate adjustments and stuff working against me. But maybe if I was looking at it over, say, 7 years, that 7-year ARM is going to probably be a better solution than the 30. And I can see here we're not getting below that 180, and I can see it's costing me $12,932 more than the 7-year because that interest rate is going to be lower. So you can visually show anything that you might be modeling on the borrow page. The most common use of this is where I'm going to take my current scenario today. This is what the client's doing today, and I'm going to take that over 30 years. and then maybe I want to compare that to a new 30-year fixed, and I want to do things that like the minimum monthly payment here is $9.93. Up here it's $12.55. So I've got some savings there. So maybe what I want to do is show a new payment here. That's the difference between $12.55 and $9.33. So I can bring up a little calculator and say, look, you've got to pay $12.55 on your old mortgage. On your new mortgage, you've got $9.93. That's a $262 a month savings. So what I want to model for you is, let's take that $262 monthly, starting in month 1 when you close, and I want to do this. I want to pay this until the loan's paid off. Now notice something you can do here you couldn't do on the bar screen is I can split this payment up. I can have some of it go towards repaying the mortgage early, and look what happened. An extra $136 is going towards repaying the mortgage. That's going to pay it off here. But the balance of $126 is going to a savings account, and that's going up. And we're actually showing the point at which you're repaid, debt-free in 21 years, 9 months. There's enough cash in the savings account to pay it off here. If I put it all into savings, the mortgage is going to pay off in 30 years, but my savings account's growing, and I can see in 23 years, 2 months, there's enough money in my savings account to pay off the debt. If I want to take that savings that I've got from my refi of $262, put it all towards the mortgage, now what am I able to do? Up here I can show them you got 28 years and 3 months to go at $12.55. Down here you've got a payment of $9.93 and an extra $262. If I pay that towards my mortgage, I'm going to be debt-free in 20 years, 8 months. So what's the savings? $117,750. So the Repay screen gives you the ability to do a lot of cool things for the client and visually add them into the graph. So let's say the client says, I actually have a $20,000 payment that is coming in. It's a one-time payment, and it's going to be coming in the 12th month from a bonus at work. And I would have put that into, say, repaying. See what happens here? I'm going to be able to model. Here's my mortgage balance, and look at that big dent there where this thing got paid down at the end of the first year, right down to here. Now it's showing that if I just keep paying this extra $262 a month, I'm debt-free in 18 years or 2 months. But again, the power of this is I could show that the extra payment monthly is going towards repaying, but that $20,000 bonus is going to my savings. So it goes in right here one time, and it sits here going all the way across, and my repay is in 19 years and 4 months. So just about anything you can imagine modeling, you can model here for a consumer to show all kinds of different scenarios. Let's say that I'm going to rent a room for $500 a month. So I've got $500 in rental income coming in, and I want to take that rental income that's coming in, and I want to also have that go towards my mortgage and extra payment. So now I'm paying my $262 extra plus my rental income of $500, and I'll get rid of that $20,000. So I'm just going to show, but I want to break it out. I want to show $262 for rent, and I want to show rent income, and I want to actually show the rent is going to actually only come in for about 5 years. So I'm going to rent a room out for 5 years at $500 a month, and while that rent's coming in, see the dent right there? You can see where that rent was going in. Now that rent stopped because I've gotten to the 60th month, but still I'm debt-free in 17 years and 2 months. So incredible flexibility for how you can model the value and the impact of your advice on the Repay screen. It's completely decoupled from the bar screen in that the data is separate, but I can click to bring that data over, which it does by default when I first open this tab, and I can model any kinds of different scenarios. Maybe the client wants to put a little extra money here and put some more money here, make a lump sum payment, target a certain date in the future they want to be paid off. And I have the additional ability here to add additional notes that will show up on the report if I'm doing a repay analysis to say, let's put the extra money towards the house and pay it off sooner. Now you'll notice again, if I want to get rid of this tab, I simply click Hide Advanced Repay Scenarios, and that's gone. I didn't lose my data, it's still there. To bring it back up, I just simply click Expand, and that's going to bring that tab up, and all the data from before is still going to be there. I also do want to note that if I am adding windows, remember I'm adding additional capabilities to the software as I turn those on. That means on my prepay page, I am going to have additional charts and things that I can print and prepare for my client. Those things are only turned on if we know that you've done some work on that particular page. So probably the most flexible, most comprehensive Borrow Smart, Repay Smart. With the Borrow, I do all my Borrowing Smart, and with the Repay tab, I can model my Repaying Smart for a particular client.